think we are live again. Okay, sorry for the little get glitchies, people. Um, we are good to go for live. So
All
if
right.
anybody who wants to comment, let's see, we have Esther. She says yes. I'm not sure what the yes is to, but okay, yes.
Sure.
Yes, girl. I'll say that. So we are here with my awesome leader, Amy Crescimanno-Word, and she is one of the leaders for the Manassas market. And we are just going to chat with her for a minute just to see her thoughts about a lot of different things. But first and foremost, I want to let you know that this awesome, amazing lady is full of energy. And what I love most about her is that she has a pure love for people. Like you just know it when you stand around her that she just wants the best for you. And I love that about you. And I think that people that go to your group actually love that about you as well. Are we still live? Can I get a?
Mine says live on Facebook, so
Mine just like went off. I'm having issues. But if it's still live, like
it's
we're
a hot mess.
with it. We're gonna pretend.
We're gonna pretend. Find out
We're
later.
gonna pretend. And if anybody comments, my apologies right now. I literally my interface just left again. I'm not sure what's going on with my computer, but I can't see who's saying hi. So if you can, Amy, let me know.
Okay, I will.
Okay. Or you can respond to them. So we're going to get down to the nitty gritty, and this is us asking leaders about their experiences. But the first thing I want to ask is just tell us something that most people don't really know about you. Like even the people that are kind of close to you, like me or your buddies in crime, Becca and
oh golly day.
Alexis.
And more and more out about each other. I will say that. That is the one beautiful thing about Net 2.0. You saw my bracelet that I received today.
I sure did. We can't say the word that it says, but I love it.
Well, you know, what was so, I'm going to sidetrack to that for a second. And I think I said something in the post about it was that Becca had commented in a question in our leaders or our meeting the other day, what she was, the best non-material gift that she's ever received. And then later on, she posted on the page the bracelet that she wears that her sister gave her as the material gift for the non-material gift that she received. And that was a bracelet. And I commented, oh my gosh, I need one of those. Now, mind you, our meeting was Tuesday. Today is Thursday. And Amazon Prime shows up at my door and I got this bracelet from my other two leaders. So it was just like brought tears to my eyes. It was so sweet. So
that is awesome.
So don't let me forget to bring in that point when you ask me some questions later, because everybody's so fabulous. But let's see, what people don't know about me. Well, they're probably figuring out I'm a huge dork. So I'm like really goofy. I mean, really goofy. Like I like super corny t-shirts. I'm just a dork. So I will trip over my own feet and I don't take myself too seriously. Sometimes I should probably take myself a little more seriously, but when I get uncomfortable, I kind of resort to being like a goofball. So that way it falls on that instead of the actual fact that I'm kind of just a goofball. So I would say that probably, and that I'm getting better, but I don't have a ton of self-confidence. So one would not expect that from people in leadership sometimes, but it's just the truth. Now it's helped me a whole lot become comfortable with myself. So that's really what confidence to me is all about. It's like not being something in someone else's eyes, but being just comfortable with who you are, which to me is my dorkiness, and embracing that and not turning that away because it is just a part of who I am, which then leads to my confidence. So I would say probably those two things, and they kind of go hand to hand in a weird sort of way.
You know, it's funny that you said that because you said that to me quite a few times now, I think, but enough where it's familiar to me. And it always strikes me because when someone meets you, I don't think they would ever suspect, you're right, that you have that, right? You have that, like uneasiness, or you don't feel enough confidence. And I just feel like you walk with such confidence and that you are such an inspiration to like those people that are around you because you are so positive. And I think your positivity translates into confidence. And I think that if you, if you just believed as much as you were positive, I don't think you would have that issue.
Well, I think as I'm getting older, what's happening is that I don't think that I think like I did when I was younger, where I think I don't have confidence, but because I'm embracing who I am more, and I have to say, not to be blowing smoke or anything, Net 2.0 has really helped with a lot of that, because in every group, people don't really put on airs, and when they do, it's really noticeable because most everyone doesn't. If they came in thinking they had to do that, they quickly find out that they don't need to, and so they just become back to themselves. Right. I think that's, as I'm aging, I'm just realizing, hey, I'm a goofball, I love me some Jesus, but I curse a little bit, all those kind of things, and I just am holding my own in my comfort level with that, and finding that there's other people who are the same way, in the sense that they're comfortable with who they are. And so I think then that becomes, I'm just confident in that. It's not that I'm confident in myself, I'm just learning to be more okay with who I am. And the people that enjoy that and appreciate it will be around me, and the ones that aren't cool with it go off, somewhere else. So
yeah, no, that's absolutely beautiful, because I agree. When you finally realize that you're not the only one like you,
yeah,
it gives you the more power. Right?
Yes.
Because a lot of times we think, oh, I'm the only one who's fill in the blank, either not being as successful as you think you are, or I'm the only one who doubts themselves, or I'm the only one who doesn't have their 30-second elevator pitch down, or I'm the only one who,
right?
Blah, 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 right?
All the things.
We always say, okay, yeah, I must be a total loser in the crowd, and our self-talk destroys us.
Yes.
And the reality is, 80% of the people don't have their damn pitch down, and they don't know if it's right, and they don't even understand, right? And
right.
So I think that's the beauty of just being in a group where you can say whatever the hell you want, answer the question, be you, right?
Yep.
So I love that. And that brings us to our second question is, how do you deal with negativity? Like, how do you combat that?
I don't have a lot of it in my life, because I think my energy repels it, to be honest with you. Like, I just don't have a lot of, I guess because maybe like in social media, I don't engage with people and make comments to, because I'll talk to other people that are like, oh, this is on their feed and that's on the feed. I'm like, how do you have this stuff on? Like, why am I not seeing this? I have people in my own family that my other family members or friends see their stuff and I don't, and I'm not blocked for them. It's just because I guess however the algorithms go, I don't engage in it. So, because I don't want to be negative back. If I feel like I need to say something strong because someone's feelings are being hurt or somebody's being put in a bad place, I will make the appropriate comment. But I don't get into that like back and forth stuff. So then I just don't see it. So then with all of us nowadays, social media is such a huge place where we spend time, whether it's business or personal, that's a big chunk of my life that just doesn't have a lot of negativity. And honestly, if I see something, I just go right past it. I'm just not curious about it.
I love that. I love that you're a mother bear, but you don't engage. Like, unless somebody else is being hurt, you're like,
yeah, because then it's just what I noticed is it disrupts me, and then I carry that disruption, and the person that was doing the negative thing, they're off living their best life. And I'm the one walking around now miserable because I've been offended or hurt by their negativity. They don't even know who I am. They could care less. It's not bothering them a bit. And I've just brought myself into a place that I don't want to be because I, read something or looked at something or commented on something or spent too much time. So, I kind of just try to stay away from it. If I do have it, I have bad days and I have negative days too. And usually it'll be somebody else that brings me out of it. It's just like divine timing that like the bracelet shows up, or I'll pop on a podcast, or, Becky Upchurch will put on there, hey, what are your 2 goals for the week? I just randomly, that was the first thing that showed up on my Facebook feed. And I was like, you know what, let me do that. Let me put myself in the hot seat, because I was feeling all blah about some things. And I thought, let me just stick that out there, because here's a group of people trying to do something positive for each other. And enough, then the feedback I get is her coming back again saying, how are we doing this week on our goals? And it's all good stuff. Even if you've messed up, then you got somebody else checking in and wishing you good luck or whatever. So
that's awesome. So that brings me to you're like totally big into the questions, but I love how you said, you looked at the challenge, you're like, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. So what is it that you feel is the most inspirational thing about being connected to a group? And it doesn't have to be a networking group. It could be the group at your gym. Like, it could be like, what is the most inspirational thing about being in connection with people?
Well, I'll say this to go back to the other point, because I'm realizing that not everybody has maybe the blessing that I have, where my connections with other groups and people are really great connections. Like, that source that I'm feeding off of is a great source. So I know that some people clearly don't have that, and they're negative, or they're feeling down, and they have these tools that they're getting information from. So I just feel like we all need to be connected in one way or the other. And with COVID and all of the human distancing, it's taken it was the initial shock to everybody in the beginning. Then people kind of settled in. They're like, oh, this is kind of nice. It's quiet. I'm playing with my kids. And now I've been doing it so long that people are starting to need that again. That to me, it's just important to have those connections. And like I said, the people in the groups that I'm in, they just lift you up. They, like, you can go there and either I'm just uplifted because all of a sudden I'm around other people and I'm very conscious that people are going through things. So I don't want to bring my dirty laundry up into there when they might be going through stuff. But also that sometimes people can just sense that you're going through something, or, hear it or feel it, and they're uplifting you. I think I kind of got a little bit off it. Say the question again, because I got off in my own mind about the whole groups thing. But say the question again that you wanted.
What's the most inspiring thing about being in connection with
that? I think just that the connection itself is inspiring, because I'm blessed to be in connection with some really great people, and it's not all coming from the same space. So again, one of the cool things about Net 2.0 is there's places that I would never get to probably physically and meet those people because they're 20, 30 miles from where I am. But it's a whole nother group of people that know another area of town. They're talking about different restaurants and things they do. And so it's just inspiring to, even in these closed kind of conditions, be able to still be around people, so to speak. And I think that, again, it really is just like whatever path you're on. But if you're on the one where, like attracts like, then the people that I'm around just happen to be, on the glass half full side most of the time versus the glass.
Right. And you keep alluding to it, but the support system, right? It's really about the support system, and making sure, like, being around like-minded people so that when you can reach out. And speaking of your support system, girl, we have Carla is saying, hey, amen. You have Alexis, your wonderful co-lead here. Hey, lovely ladies. And then Samantha was our first comment. She said, hey, ladies.
Good.
She's probably not here anymore because she had to get on a one-to-one. But she wanted to say hi to you specifically.
Oh, awesome.
So, that is just a great testimony to the people that you're touching, right? And the support system that you are building. And we were just joking with Carla this morning. She's like, a Net 2.0 junkie. She's on
she's on all of them.
But she's doing herself a huge favor because she's connected with so many people, and so many people know her.
Yeah.
They're just really I feel like when you see her face, you're just like, you have to smile, right? And
you know what? And that's so true. And I'll say that about her since you brought her up. So the cool thing is that, first of all, she does come to all this. She set herself a schedule, which she and I talked about in this time, which we've all talked about. And a lot of our Net 2.0 markets have talked about, how do you keep your sanity and your mental health and go forward in this time, because it's so easy to stay in your pajamas and not do anything. And so one of the things she said is she makes it a point to get up every morning and get to a networking meeting. And I think most of them start with Net 2.0 at the beginning of her day. So she's in all of them. It's to the point that if Carla doesn't show up, because we're all so used to seeing her, we're like, oh, where's Carla? And somebody and say, and that probably makes her feel good because she realizes she's got connection with people that are used to seeing her, that if she's not there with that great smile on her, she has an amazing laugh, that you're like, where did she go? Like, why is she not here? And it makes her feel missed and wanted. So
Yeah.
Fostering all of that, I think is very inspiring, because you realize people really do care, and you don't have to know them, have known them forever.
Yeah.
You yourself.
Yeah, no, I agree. She's like, and she's saying like begets like, and that's absolutely true. And we're building a community of people that want to help and support each other.
Yeah.
And see each other's businesses grow. And so I'm excited about, where we're going. So that leads me into Net 2.0. And I know I knew this was going to happen with us. We're way over time, but we're just going to go with it.
Okay.
What is different about Net 2.0? Because I know that you were actually a leader for another group, and no names, please, but what makes it different to be Net 2.0? Like, why is that? Like, why did you decide that you were going to go ahead and focus here instead of somewhere else?
Two things pop to mind right away, because if you've never been and you don't know the people in the group, which you don't if you're just getting started in it. I knew someone who was in it and I liked her. So I'm like, well, she likes it. It was Colleen. Then that's got to be pretty cool, because I think she's cool. And I had met you, but just briefly. So I thought of you as like a businesswoman and a networking businesswoman. So I anticipated like I better be, sharp as a nail and, be like Rain with those business cards kind of thing, And then you said what your motto was, and it was realized by lifting others. And I'm like, oh, well, that's like half of who I am right there, number one. And number two, that prior to the Manassas market opening, you had several other markets going. So I'm like, wow, these are the same ethical code in a couple of different places that have a good chunk of people in them. So that was pretty impressive to me. I'm like, I was imagining that these are probably like-minded people with who's going to resonate with my soul, and how that also blends into my business world as well. Because I try to marry the two. And then you and I had spoken so much that I knew that that's how you felt too. So I was like, well, she must be putting this thing together that it runs the way that you run. And so lo and behold, I get into the things, and they're very structured. They have a very business-like feel in terms of a structure and a schedule, but the topics are like super cool and different, and you're getting educated. And what I found the most interesting is, because a couple of times, obviously I was a guest, people that clearly had known each other for a while, like Ashburn's Market was the one I first went to. I was surprised at the candidness of the people in the group with some of the questions that were asked in front of guests. Like, they just felt so much themselves that it didn't even bother them to continue to do what Net 2.0 has done in front of someone that they don't know. And so I thought, well, wow, that must be a pretty strong cord that she's got running through that group, because a lot of times, especially because it's we're not a business networking group, but it's also about getting business. People put on the blinders or the airs or the whatever, because it's about business, and they're not going to show their, the worries of their business. And so when I realized that your motto and what I was seeing in the groups lined up, I was like, well, if this works, and it's also a way to network for my business, that's like a no-brainer for me, because I'm really uncomfortable in places where it's just sell, pitch,
yeah,
surface, and then when we opened up the Manassas market and we were, in person, and I had the opportunity to lead and had leaders with me, those people they just came. I mean, that's, we're inviting the people like Carla said, and like we said, like tracks like, and so
yeah,
it just felt like a really good place to spend my time, because everyone's time is valuable. And, especially even in COVID, when you're even more so, people are hustling because everything's shifted, that you don't have time to just go hang around. It's got to be profitable on some level. And what I love about Net 2.0 is that every week the topics change, and it's not the same topic for each meeting. So like a Carla who goes to every one, she's not getting the same net talk or the same question at all 5 of those meetings. It's like going to 4 or 5 different meetings completely, even though it's the same core values running through it. So I just can appreciate what all of that is and what it brings to a human and what it brings to your business, because you start to run your business more with those thoughts in mind. And I think that's really important.
And I love what you said about the transparency, right? Because that's what we're talking about, is that business people, that a lot of times we are in environments where we don't feel free or welcome to share our weaknesses, because, just like in a lion pack, if you're weak, you get eaten, right?
Right.
But in Net 2.0, it's quite the opposite. If you are feeling challenged, you share that challenge, you get lifted up like you're at a rave concert and people are like, woo, like throwing you in the air, right?
Yeah.
Because we're going to make sure that you get this thing solved and that you get over this hurdle or this obstacle or the detour in your business. And we're going to make sure that you understand it is just a detour. It is the end. So just like this COVID thing, it is not the end. It is a detour, and you have to find and navigate through it. So I love that. I love that you said that. The best advice that you want to give people who want to get a little bit more out of networking?
Do your one-to-ones. Don't expect that when you go to a meeting, that whether it's designed to build business or it's not designed to talk about yourself the whole time, don't expect that meeting, you're going to walk out of there in a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, and you're going to be flooded with emails to people who want whatever it is that you have. You have to do the follow-up. You have to have the one-to-ones. You have to get to know each other. And I think one of the cool things that Net 2.0 does on a whole is they take some of that get to knowing off of you by providing topics that allow us to get to know each other, because we are all discussing it. So not only do you get one opinion or one thought, but you get this whole, group of like cohesive or not thoughts and processes about things. And then it just makes it that much easier to step into a one-to-one, because you kind of feel like you know the person a little bit better than you would if you just met them and traded business cards and then had to make that awkward, like, hey, you want to have coffee, and you're showing up.
So, absolutely. Getting those connections right off the bat without even like having to ask, but just listening to the answers of these questions and going, I want to get to know her. She likes Prince.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. And because if you don't know, like, I don't know how you would know if you know her more than 5 minutes, but she loves Prince. So those things. I love it. So one last question, because again, we are like so far over, but that's okay.
Well, you got the mouth of the South over here, so.
No, it's okay. I always have you issue a challenge to our members or non-members, people that are on our Facebook group or just kind of watching from the sidelines. Issue a challenge for their business. Like whether it's like the challenge I issued last week was to have 5 one-to-ones in 7 days. Issue a challenge of writing. Somebody who wrote the.
That's a good one. I saw that one. The thank you notes. Yep.
Yeah, that was awesome, right? Thank you notes, and they went bought Starbucks cards and yada yada yada. So do you have a challenge that you'd like to issue for people, whether it's in our networking group or in other networking groups? Because I don't really care what networking group you go to, but let's give you a challenge.
Okay. So since I love to send cards and things, that one's already been done. I think along those lines, and it's going to be a little bit more of a difficult challenge because you're going to have to know somebody a little bit or find a sneaky way to get to know them. But how about if we challenge people to send an article or something they found on social media or somewhere to someone that they know that person would enjoy getting, reading, seeing. So whether it's business related, like it's a business related article, like how you can do your business, whatever it is, better, or so on. Or if it's like, everyone knows Amy loves Prince, they send me, some old article about Prince or some Prince song, or, just a way to deepen that connection and show people that you've been listening and hearing, or make you go dig for that deeper connection with somebody because you don't know, a little intricacy that you could do that for them.
Oh, I love that. So go back in your notes. If you're like me, you take notes of all your one-to-ones that you've had. Go back to your calendar. Think about a person that you've had a one-to-one with that you learned a little something fun about, and send them, whether it's a fun meme or a picture or an article or some kind of content. It could be a link to a YouTube video.
Yep.
I actually sent somebody a link to a video of somebody reading a children's book, but it really wasn't a children's book. It's freaking hilarious. I was crying at the end of that thing. It was so funny. But I love that because again, you don't have to have a one-to-one to build that connection, right?
Right.
And someone loves it when you just think of them for anything.
Yep.
I love that challenge. We're going to go ahead and we'll write that challenge in the comments as well.
Perfect.
So that you guys can take on that challenge. So find somebody you've had a one-to-one with either recently or it's been a while and you know you need to reconnect with that person. Send them something fun to read or look at. I love that. And it could be via mail or it could be via video or it could be an email or a smoke signal, whatever you get somebody working, you can do it that way. Amy, it has been awesome. You are awesome. I love your energy. If you don't know her, please get to the Manassas meeting. You will see her there and you can ask her all kinds of questions there. Join us every 9 a.m. Monday through Thursday, soon to be Friday at a different time for Net 2.0 Pink Markets. And we totally love you. We're happy that you're a leader. Thank you for doing this.
I do want to give a quick shout out to my other two leaders because they're amazing and they just help me so much with this whole thing. We have this we're really getting to know each other really well, obviously, because it's this corny bracelet and it's a really cool space. I feel like we were actually sending each other pictures today of threesomes of people. So one of us sent 3 dudes and I sent like Destiny's Child and then like Charlie's Angels, like just commenting on how we're all working together. So I wanted to give a shout out to Alexis and Becca because they're super special and I really, really enjoy being with them together. And I know that everybody's busy and we're all, feeding off of each other and trying to help each other out. So they're fantastic leaders with me.
And you guys do a great job with building your relationship first. And I love that about you.
It makes it easy because Alexis has hysterical kids and Becca is just freaking funny. And so.
Right? I mean, come on. You probably know the Dirt Bandit before you know Alexis.
This is true. Who showed up at our last meeting, by the way?
All right, awesome. Well, yes, right. Go check out all 3 of those lovely, lovely women, Becca and Alexis and Amy over at Manassas Market.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Have a good day, you guys.
See you guys later.